I had planned to ride straight to the main pyramid and then make the stops on the way back, but I just can't help myself, and I keep stopping at every one of these pyramids or ball courts or anything like that I come upon. So I had been hearing mixed things leading up to this trip of whether you could or couldn't climb the pyramid anymore, and I think you could up until COVID, and then they kind of used the COVID situation as like an excuse to close this down. And this was supposed to be the last year to climb it anyways, so I assume it's just not going to be open and climbable anymore. Well, we've made it into the ancient Mayan city of Coba. I'm having to voice over this first part as I didn't have my microphone plugged all the way in, because we were really only given about 50 minutes to see this gigantic site. So I'm going to try to show you as much as I can in this very short time. And I'm a little upset about it because when I booked this tour, it said we had a full hour and a half here, which still really isn't enough, but that obviously isn't even happening. Anyways, when you first get in, the first part of the site that you really see is this very well-preserved ball court right across from the bike rental place. And the condition of this ball court has me really looking forward to seeing more of this place. Okay, now as I really want to see the main pyramid at the end, I'm going to come over here and rent a bike, which is kind of the only way when you're on a rush because it's very far. And I'm going to try to see this stuff more on my way out. So I'll see you guys after I rent the bike. So if you rent a bike and you're heading down the path, or if you walk, it is a very long walk. This will be the first little pyramid temple that you come upon. Obviously no climbing like most of these sites. And there's not much left here, but just making a quick brief stop here. And I've been recording on the GoPro, on my other GoPro, while I've been riding, but it seems like it's really bumpy, so I don't know if the footage is actually going to be usable or not. But if it is, you'll be able to see that, well, I guess you can't see, but you can imagine that all this jungle all around that I'm riding through, absolutely all of it, was the city. It was a built-up city. This is another one of the many ball courts in what was this massive city, or what was actually multiple cities combined to make one massive city. At one point during Coba's reign, which was for thousands of years, towards the end of it, it was a capital of the region, a large trading post area, shipping out. They had roadways going to all of the other nearby settlements, and there were a lot of nearby settlements, and I'm sure there's even more than we even know of if you've seen the recent news about the LiDAR scans over Guatemala and the absolutely massive network of cities that the Mayans had. I'm sure that this area is no different. I just made a little walk around this ball court. It's a pretty small ball court, but big enough and incredibly still well preserved. I do wonder how much had to be reassembled of it. So I'm heading on to the main pyramid. I had planned to ride straight to the main pyramid and then make the stops on the way back, but I just can't help myself, and I keep stopping at every one of these pyramids or ball courts or anything like that I come upon. So making a little circuit around this pyramid. Well, this is a small one. It's like a secondary temple, almost at the main pyramid. And I'm only going to be able to show you some of what the 3% that's been uncovered, because there's definitely a lot of paths that are like no bikes allowed, and I'm sure those lead to other places, but maybe they're just shortcuts for people on foot. I really don't know. But like I said, I can't recommend coming here on your own with no tour, no nothing, because the amount of time you're going to get on absolutely any tour isn't going to be sufficient to actually see this site. This is probably one of the most original looking Mayan pyramids I've actually seen. Like, it's conical. It's not a square-sided, straight-sided. Like, they're actually rounded edges. It's beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to see the big one now. And I finally believe that I have made it to the main pyramid, main complex area. And it's not too long of a bike ride. I think at a fast bike pace, it probably took me a little over 5 minutes, maybe 10, including like the little brief stops I made. They don't let you ride your bike like right up to the pyramid. You park like, I don't know, 100, 200 feet away. Then you gotta walk up through this beautiful freaking jungle. So I had been hearing mixed things leading up to this trip of whether you could or couldn't climb the pyramid anymore. And I think you could up until COVID. And then they kind of used the COVID situation as like an excuse to close this down. And this was supposed to be the last year to climb it anyways. So I assume it's just not going to be open and climbable anymore. But Jesus Christ, this place is freaking huge. I am so freaking jealous of my sister because she came here years ago, probably 10 plus years ago, and she was actually able to climb it. And I know after climbing at Ekbalam, when you get up to the top of one of these pyramids and can oversee the entire jungle around you, it's just absolutely incredible. It is starting to rain right now, like heavy. It was drizzling, but crap, it's really starting to come down. But when you get up to these pyramids and you can see into the distance, a lot of times you can see the other pyramids from the other cities hundreds and hundreds of miles away. And it's honestly incredible because most of this terrain through the Yucatan was actually relatively flat ground. And for the most part, it was built up for these cities. Like they built everything that they needed. They built the roadways, and the road system connecting these cities was just massive. Like the site I went to yesterday and Ekbalam, which is near it, over by Chichen Itza, were connected to Coba in their time for trade routes. And I mean, they are hundreds of miles away. Driving in a car takes a couple hours to get from one to the other. So I can only imagine what it would be like carrying the things on their backs, because the Mayans didn't use wheels. I think it was a religious thing because the sun, they worshiped the sun, the moon, and they didn't use circular tools because of that. So I like I said, I gotta rush through here. I still gotta ride back, and I'd like to see some of the stuff up front. And it's starting to rain harder, so I'm heading out, and I'll show you guys up in the front when I get up there. I decided, because I'm pedaling as fast as I possibly can on that bike, to make a quick stop down one of the other paths, the other main roads. Each road from the main turnoff point is 1 kilometer to their main stops. This brief little stop is only a few hundred meters off of that turn. So if you're really cutting on time like me, this is an achievable stop. And this is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically the painted group. Unlike that first group in the front, which is the Coba group, and then the main pyramid group. Those are like the 3 sections, the 3 plazas that are open to us to come and explore. It looks like I'm coming up on a well. Oh no, it's one of their like stalls. But they're so completely decayed and pocked that you can't make out at all what was there, which is a shame. I mean, they built covers to protect them from further decay, but at this point they're already so decayed it's impossible to make anything out. I'm heading back to my bike, and I don't think I'm going to continue down this road to the end of it, because I don't want to be the person holding the bus up, even though I know there's going to be other people holding the bus up. We had other people in our group holding us up during the last stop, and that was an easy one compared to the speed we have to rush through this. But I just love these. The way that the edges and the corners here are rounded. I don't think I've actually been to an ancient Mayan site that was like that, with the rounded edges. Thou shalt not pass. Oh, that is my alarm telling me to head the F back. So I definitely gotta head it back. I got 13 minutes. You can see the backside here. I can show you real quick though. This is what they look like. This is what any of the other ones, I think my lens is dirty, I'm sorry about that. It's so humid, it's probably fogging up constantly. But this is how any of them are found, like just completely covered by nature, leaves, trees, everything. And they have to go through a pretty painstaking and expensive process to turn it back into this, what it once was. because even this would have been crumbled, decayed, grown over, and then they had to reassemble it. And the main pyramid here, the big one, apparently when the conquistadors, or when the explorers were coming through here and they asked what it was, at that point it was completely overgrown, like many of the pyramids all throughout the Yucatan and Central America are. And they wanted to protect it, they wanted to save it from being looted, so they very smartly told them it's just a hill, it's just a mound. But obviously they'll only believe that for so long before we got to go destroying things. But I'm not calling this destroying it. But a lot of the old ancient archaeologists, they did. They very quickly dug and tried to get whatever they could out of it. Tried to steal stuff to the British museums. But okay, I really got to go. So maybe I'll be able to show you guys a little bit of the Coba Plaza up at the front, but I really don't think so. So if I get to, then hell yeah, I'll show it to you when I get up there. If I don't, and you like this very rushed video through Coba, hit the like button down below, subscribe, and I'll show you some more ruins in the future. And I am planning on getting a motorcycle when I get back to the States, and I would like to kind of slowly work my way through the States and eventually weave my way through Central South America. And my main focus is going to be archaeological sites. Like, I want to go off path, off trail, and go to absolutely every single one that I can find. And I'm sure a lot of them I'm going to be the only person at. So if that's something you're into, it's probably a year or more away before I'm able to get to that point. But subscribe, and I would love to continue to show you guys these amazing ruins all around the freaking world. So without taking up any more time, I'm heading back. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, I lied. I've abandoned my bike here at the main first group where you get the bikes, and I'm going to scurry down this path to try to see some of these incredible freaking looking temples that were hidden by the ball court, but they look fucking amazing. You can still go up slightly up to the first level, so I'm gonna go up there, give you guys a little glimpse of this. Oh my freaking god, it's as big as the first one. I timed my arrival to this spot just right to see some of the actual local Mayan tribe praying. I don't know if they were doing it just to the temple, or the fact that there was also a hawk or an eagle flying around the temple. It was pretty incredible. I doubt it's picked up on the GoPro very well, but that's awesome. And it was so much bigger than I had actually expected it to be. I mean, that's 100 feet tall. That's as tall as the main castle and main pyramid in Chichen Itza. Once you come to the back, though, it's mostly just stairs going up. It seems like there was potentially other pyramids or temples back here, but mostly ruined and only partially reassembled. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making my bus wait a little bit for me. So now I got to walk back out. And I'm sorry I keep saying I'm done and I'm not actually done, but now I'm pretty sure I actually am done. So I will see you guys in my next video on my next adventure. We made it to the cenote out in the absolute middle of the jungle that we're coming to swim in. And I'm actually swimming in this one, unlike the last one, because there's not 1,000 people here. It's just pretty much our group, and it's freaking beautiful. Oh my god, it's so cold. It's so cold. It's so cold. It's absolutely amazing how cold cenotes get, considering they're in this climate, but They're all fed by the underwater rivers all through the Yucatan. And there's literally thousands of cenotes all through the Yucatan, where basically the water, the land falls in, the sinkholes, to create these cenotes. But a lot of times they're connected by cave systems. And there's actually a cave, ooh, it went down here. There's actually a cave here on this cenote, or at this site, that I'm probably gonna walk over to. It's beautiful. Give you guys a look underneath. Have a nice trip?
Yeah, nice trip for sure.
Definitely rent a freaking car, rent a bike, something, and get out here. Don't take a tour, because having to rush in this kind of heat kind of sucks. I like seeing the people who are able to leisurely walk down the path while I'm sweating, pedaling as fast as I can on these flat tires. So, see you guys later.